What did your parents teach you as a kid that you didn't realize was actually f***ked up until you were older? They said foster parents were all pedophiles who raped and pimped the kids they took in. My stepdad would tell us this whenever we got bruises from him hitting us to discourage us from calling social services or telling a teacher. Edit. Didn't expect this to blow up. Thanks for all the love. I turned out okay. Met some people who foster in my adult years and they're the nicest, kindest people ever. My stepdad left my mom for a Chinese mail-order wife, and my mom remarried to a truck driver who is the best dad a guy could have. Anytime I felt hurt by a conflict with a friend, my parents would tell me to never talk to them again because they aren't real friends anyway. I ghosted all of my best friends thinking it was the right thing to do. Now, I know that real friends talk things out and it makes the friendships even stronger. A very painful realization. I never even considered my parents could have been wrong. Apparently healthy conflict resolution doesn't involve complete avoidance in the form of locking yourself in the bedroom for days on end. My dad told me he could drink beer in the car if he drank it while the car was stopped. It's only drinking and driving if the car is in motion. I was like, makes sense. I was around 4. My parents told me that I had a limited number of words and when I got to that limit I would die. I guess it was an easy way to make me shut up. My dad was teaching me about credit cards and said you can just make the minimum payment every month. It blew my mind, made it seem like free money. Thank God I didn't take that advice. I pay my credit card off every month and he's drowning in credit card debt. After arguing with a girlfriend and not speaking with her for a few days, both my parents told me separately to hold on to my beef with her like a grudge and use it against her later. Flushed. I've been married to the girlfriend now 25 years this year, never once took my parents' advice, and have no idea how my parents' marriage survived. Lol. If you ignore bullies they will go away. If you're sad that means the devil is inside you and you need to pray for forgiveness. I was 6 and my cat had just died. During a car ride my dad once explained to me the concept of micro-murder. It was the idea that the seconds spent in traffic behind someone driving below the speed limit, and other instances of people inconveniencing you, were seconds of your life that you couldn't get back, and should be upset about. I realize as an adult that he's got some issues and just needed an excuse to resent random people on the street. How to lie or avoid situations where truthful responses would get me in trouble. Anytime I spoke up about anything really it'd be ridiculed and put down by my mother, so I stopped talking. If I told her something good happened at school she'd ask why I was still getting such bad grades. So I just stopped talking. If someone ever touches you hit them back and don't stop hitting until they stop moving. My dad who is facing his 3rd attempted murder charge. That the police were going to come and take me away unless I hid. Nothing sinister, he just thought it was funny. Edit. See, this one touched a nerve. Sorry if dragged up bad memories. Upon hearing stories of my childhood my husband had to break it to me that it was not in fact normal for moms to share their antipsychotic meds, or chill pills, as she would call them, with their young children. Do not ever be a bother to anyone. Solve all your problems by yourself. Not me, but someone I know was told growing up that only sluts use condoms. Yes, their parents told them this when they were growing up. That every interaction with other people is transactional in some way. Nobody ever wants to be around you just because they like you. Not fucked up, but when I was a kid my dad told me you couldn't get sunburnt past 1 p.m. and I believed him until I was 23. Edit. Spelling. Situation awareness. What seems odd or out of place. Felt like I was being trained by Batman when I realized what he was doing. Dad's from a rough part of Mexico with a lot of narco gang wars. So, he was just teaching me to read if a place or a situation was out of the ordinary. Not exactly a lesson, but when I was 8, I had some difficulty to speak clearly and my father, who was still married to my mother, wanted to take me to a specific therapist. In the end the therapist was a woman that he wanted to seduce for a long time and I was the way to do it. By the way, in the end I just needed an orthodontist for my issue. This is something that for me was fucked up and I will never forget it. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect this attention for this comment. In the end I didn't visit the therapist, but I talked with her via phone and the mood was weird as I remember. Luckily I had a lovely mother growing up and these kind of things don't affect me. On the other side, I am very lucky to have my father as reference, for what not to do to my children. Definitely not as bad as a lot of these other ones, and I know it wasn't done on purpose to be malicious, but to eat when I was sad or upset. It's easier and faster to tell a kid to go eat something as a distraction than it is to sit down and deal with it, especially if said kid is upset a lot due to living in abusive environments, getting bullied at school, etc. It definitely really fucked up my relationship with food, leading to emotional eating, overweight turning into obesity, even more bullying, disordered eating and other mental health issues. I realized probably 15 years ago that this was an issue, the cause of it, but even though I know that, it's still something I'm working on unlearning.